All right, so get this. We're diving into OpenAI's grand plan, and it's a big one.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
They want to make AI as readily available as electricity.
Whoa, okay, that's a bold goal.
Yeah. And we actually have this article you sent over by Srinidhi Ranganathan. It's really got the wheels turning.
Oh yeah, Srinidhi, he calls himself the human AI. Pretty interesting guy.
Right. We'll definitely circle back to that. But first, AI like electricity. What does that even mean?
It's a powerful analogy, that's for sure. Basically, it's about making AI as easy to access and as reliable as turning on a light switch.
So we're not just talking about improving the AI itself.
No, this is about a complete infrastructure overhaul. We're talking massive investments, changing how we interact with AI on a fundamental level.
Okay, so bigger than just better code. It's about access for everyone. The article mentions data centers and even working with chip manufacturers.
It seems like they're laying the foundation for something massive, right?
Huge.
Yeah, and Srinidhi even compares it to the Industrial Revolution.
Wow, that's a pretty big comparison.
It puts it into perspective, though, the sheer scale of change OpenAI is aiming for.
So, AI being everywhere, what does that actually look like day to day? I mean, the article mentions AI working behind the scenes, making things easier, maybe even making us more creative.
Imagine education that adapts to how you learn in real time.
Okay, that's cool. Personalized learning.
Traffic systems that predict and prevent traffic jams before they even happen.
No more rush hour. I can get behind that.
And healthcare with AI diagnostics that are constantly learning and getting better.
So AI doctors.
In a sense, we're talking about a future where AI is woven into the very fabric of life as we know it.
It's exciting, but I have to admit, a little daunting too. One thing that stood out in the article was OpenAI's focus on global partnerships, even in the Middle East and Asia. So this isn't just Silicon Valley.
Not at all. This vision needs the whole world on board. Governments, local communities, everyone needs to work together to make it happen.
Which of course brings in a whole other conversation about regulation and making sure everyone has access.
Absolutely, it's a huge undertaking.
And this is where I think Srinidhi's perspective is super interesting. He calls himself the human AI. He's a digital marketing whiz, and he's writing about a future powered by AI.
It's pretty meta, isn't it?
Totally.
It really highlights how much our lives are already intertwined with AI.
Yeah.
Whether or not we're ready to call ourselves human AIs, understanding this technology is crucial.
For everyone, not just the techies.
Exactly.
It really feels like we're standing on the edge of something massive, right? Like the world just before electricity, wondering what life will be like when it arrives.
Absolutely. It's that same sense of anticipation, of not knowing exactly how everything will change, but knowing that it will be profound.
Srinidhi asks this really interesting question in the article. He asks, are we ready for AI to flow like electricity?
Big question. And I think to even begin to answer it, we have to look at it from a few different perspectives.
Okay, I like that. So like different angles on the same question.
Right. So first, practically speaking, are we ready? Do we have the infrastructure to support AI on a global scale?
Right. It's like we need to build the power grid, but for AI.
Exactly. But then there's also the human element.
Are we ready for this?
Yeah. Are we as a society prepared for this kind of shift? And I think this is where Srinidhi's background is particularly relevant.
Because he comes from the digital marketing world.
Right, so he understands how technology and human behavior interact. He's seen how quickly things can change in the digital landscape.
Which makes his take on all of this even more fascinating.
Definitely. He's not just a tech person in Silicon Valley. He understands the potential impact on everyday people.
And that's a bridge we need, right? Between the tech and the human impact.
We need that connection desperately. We can't just have the engineers and the coders building this future. We need voices from all walks of life.
Educators, artists,
policymakers, business leaders, everyone. Because this idea of AI flowing like electricity, it goes way beyond just the tech world.
It's like we can talk about self-driving cars and robot assistants all day.
Sure.
But what does it mean for the truck driver? What does it mean for the chef, for the customer service representative?
And Srinidhi gets that. He gets those questions, and he doesn't shy away from the potential downsides either.
There are downsides.
He talks about the digital divide and the need to make sure everyone has access to this technology.
That's a big one.
huge. Because if we're not careful, this AI revolution could actually end up widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots.
Instead of closing it.
Exactly. And that's why I think OpenAI's focus on global collaboration is so important. We need solutions that work for different cultures, different economic situations.
So it can't just be a one-size-fits-all approach.
No. We need a diversity of perspectives to make sure this technology benefits everyone.
It's almost like OpenAI is trying to create this common language around AI.
Yeah, like a shared set of principles that we can all agree on.
No matter where we come from or what we do.
Exactly. And it's interesting, I think, that Srinidhi calls himself the human AI, almost like he's saying, look, we're all becoming hybrids in a way, you know?
Merging with this technology.
Yeah, so how do we do it in a way that works for everyone?
Because the potential is there.
Right, absolutely.
To solve problems, to unlock incredible creativity, but only if we're thoughtful and inclusive in how we approach it.
100%. And that requires us to move past the hype and the fear-mongering and really dig into the complexities.
So back to Srinidhi's question, are we ready? And maybe more importantly, what can we do to get ready?
What should our listeners be thinking about right now?
Yeah, what are the key takeaways?
Well, I think the first one is that this isn't some far-off future we're talking about. This is happening now. OpenAI is laying the groundwork as we speak.
It's like they're building the power lines right now.
Exactly. And the second takeaway is the potential benefits are enormous. We're talking about solving climate change, curing diseases.
Amazing possibility.
Creating entirely new forms of art and expression. But
there's always a but, isn't there? There's always a catch, right?
Right. And I think with AI, especially as it becomes more powerful, more integrated into our lives, we have to be really careful.
More powerful, more responsibility kind of thing.
Exactly. We can't just focus on all the amazing things AI might be able to do without thinking about the potential risks as well.
So thinking about things like ethics, regulation, making sure this technology benefits everyone.
All critical, because the future isn't a given, it's what we make it.
It's like that crossroads idea Srinidhi brings up, right? Like one path leads to AI making existing inequalities even worse, and the other path leads to a world where everyone benefits.
And which path we end up on, I think that comes down to the choices we make right now.
The conversations we have, the rules we put in place.
Exactly. It's not just about the technology itself, but how we choose to use it.
Srinidhi, though, he doesn't really give us all the answers in this article, does he? More like he leaves us with a lot to think about.
And I think that's really valuable, honestly. Sometimes asking the right questions is more important than having all the answers.
Because it forces us to really look at the issue, right? To think about what kind of future we want to create with AI.
Yes. And to realize that we all have a role to play in shaping that future.
That's a good point. It's easy to feel like these decisions are being made by someone else in some tech company boardroom.
Right. But the truth is, we all have a say.
So what's the one thing, if our listeners could take away from all of this, what would you want it to be?
Don't be passive. Stay informed, ask questions, get involved in these conversations, because the future of AI, it's not predetermined.
It's being written right now.
Exactly. We all have the power to shape it.
I like that. A future powered by AI, shaped by all of us.
That's what we should be aiming for.
Absolutely. Well, on that note, thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the world of AI and OpenAI's big plans. It's a fascinating and ever-evolving landscape, and we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on it. Until next time, keep those questions coming, and remember, the future is what we make it.